Hey there, good morning. Welcome to Still Up with 6. Thank you for continuing the conversation here on the show. I'm Heidi Alaga.
I'm Chris Rogers. Yeah, I'm just still swallowing my food. If you guys were watching on the show, we had a food truck showdown, and we've just been eating delicious food in the 5 minutes between the show ending and our show continuing here on Texas Today as people are waking up with us. Happy Friday, guys.
Happy Friday. Lisa saying good morning. It's going to be a wonderful day. I agree, Lisa. And Rebecca, is this a news update or what's it supposed to be? Well, Rebecca, this is actually, we're continuing the conversation here. It's pretty much a recap of what we talked about, some of the biggest talkers, and we let you guys at home join the conversation as we proceed with the talker of the day, along with some verified topics, some trending topics, some consumer headlines. We kind of cover what you guys need to know this morning.
Yeah, so Rebecca, this is not, a breaking news update. No. Nothing you really need to know going out the door, just a chance for us to have a conversation with you guys at home on social media as you wake up and start your Friday. And a lot of people, it's the official start to summer. I know for some of those kiddos and parents out there, so a lot of people gearing up for that. Hey, you want to get started with our talker of the day here? Yeah,
so we're talking about a recent pit bull attack that happened in North Texas. Now, a woman is suing the owner of the two pit bulls who attacked her dog because her dog had to get surgery, 3 surgeries, and the woman herself was actually hurt. Now, what happened were these two pit bulls weren't on a leash, and they came to her dog, Boomski, and what ended up happening is they got into some sort of fight, and one ended up getting really hurt. So now the lady is suing for $1 million, and we asked you guys at home to weigh in on our question of the day.
Yeah, and a lot of you have been, and it looks like the majority of you say at least cover those vet and medical expenses right now. Hey, good morning to you, Austin, and good morning, Brian from Copper's Cove.
Yeah.
Good morning to both of you. A lot of you guys were talking about this on our Facebook page. Let's take a look at some of the comments this morning because I thought they were pretty interesting.
I did too. Danny's saying, I think she should get what she's asking for. Dogs are more than just pets. They're family. I agree with that. The woman who failed to control her pit bulls needs to pay, and that will let owners of other vicious animals realize what consequences they can face if they allow their dogs to attack pets or people. I agree. I think there needs to be a standard set here for dog attacks because they are family, and it is important that if your dog is a little on the aggressive side, to maybe be aware of that. Keep them leashed. Maybe don't take them to populated areas.
Yeah, I think first a lot of people understand that something needs to happen here, right? Especially with the history of violence and attacks that these dogs have had, apparently, according to police reports. This comment coming from Timothy Q, the "Oh my God, all pit bulls are dangerous" comments. And yeah, that's a good point. We want to point out this is not a situation where we're trying to outlaw or villainize is the word I'm looking for. Pit bulls, of course, there are so many pit bulls that are so sweet and so wonderful. And I've actually done a Verify segment that pit bulls are not much more violent than other breeds. It's just pit bulls, obviously, those are the stories that make headlines because of how strong they are. Yeah,
another comment here this morning coming in from Heather. I wouldn't get that much if I was attacked by 2 pit bulls. So she's saying that $1 million might be asking for a little bit too much in this case. Now, we do want to say in this specific case, the 2 pit bulls who attacked that poor dog did have a history. And I say poor dog because in this case, they are the victim, did have a history of 3 different incidents attacking not just other dogs, but people as well. So those pit bulls have a history with police and law enforcement, which is why I think this case is a little different from other headlines you may hear about pit bulls.
Yeah, certainly, and I think that no matter what the breed of your dog is, if your dogs have a history of violence against other dogs or a history of violence against humans, it is your responsibility certainly to keep them on a leash in a public area, because if you know they're prone to that kind of violence, you got to do whatever you can to make sure they don't attack other animals, and it could end yeah, exactly, Lisa. No, not all pit bulls are dangerous. Completely agree with you. We've actually proven that with the statistics that pit bulls are not. Actually, Chihuahuas are the most.
I was going to say, aren't Chihuahuas the most technically aggressive breed of dog?
Right, they're the most aggressive breed of dog. Of course, the pit bulls make the headlines, and why they make the headlines is because they are powerful and they're strong.
And they're bigger.
Yeah, and so oftentimes when they attack, we've got things like this where surgeries have to happen. We've got, hurt limbs and stuff like that, whereas, a Chihuahua attacks.
Yeah, but there are so many, we do want to reiterate that there are so many beautiful, precious pit bulls who are so well behaved, who aren't aggressive at all, really. So it's not against the breed. We're just talking about this certain incident where these 2 pit bulls were not only not on the leash, but also did have a history of attacking other dogs and humans as well. So this lady's suing for $1 million. 37% say, yeah, she should get that $1 million. 61% say they should get the medical bills and the vet bills paid for, and I think that I land there as well. I think that it's not their fault they were attacked, so why should the money to treat the attack come out of their pocket? Well, 2% saying nothing. The woman doesn't deserve anything.
Yeah, Kayla said eventually the pit bulls will turn on the owner, and it could be a valid point there from Kayla, because we've heard about it before of those happening. If it has a history of violence, it could be prone to violence again. And Lisa said, yeah, then those pit bulls are dangerous and should never be in the public. Good point. Those specific pit bulls, not all pit bulls, of course, wonderful pit bulls, but those ones, they shouldn't be in public. If this is the 4th time they've attacked either a human or another dog and caused significant damage, they cannot be in the public eye.
Well, especially unleashed the way they were. I mean, and that's the thing, that falls on the responsibility of the owner there. I think that the owner should be held responsible for the dog's actions, not the dogs, because, I mean, she knows the history of their aggressiveness and she didn't leash them. So, and then not only that, but took them somewhere where other dogs are going to be present. I mean, if I knew I had an aggressive dog, I think a lot of dog parents can relate with me. We know our dog's ability to adapt to certain environments and situations. We know how they would react if they felt attacked. We know how aggressive they can be. Like, I know my dog really well, and I know he can barely handle just a certain amount of dogs before getting overwhelmed, getting possessive, getting aggressive. So I put him in situations where I know he's going to be okay. And I think that that's what this dog owner failed to do. Yeah,
absolutely. And we talked about, the law considers pit bulls as not pit bulls, excuse me, dogs as pets, as property.
Yeah.
So you're responsible for your property, and in this case, there's no responsibility. Those dogs are not. And then the $1 million, I think, is a statement more than it is saying this is what it cost. Just to make sure that. That someone needs to pay for this, and there's so many damages mentally, emotionally, and of course physically as well. So continue giving us your thoughts on this morning, but it looks like the majority of people, our viewers, do think that at least the vet and medical bills should be covered. Hey, so we have the Verify Fast Friday. This was an interesting one because we love our Bucky's here in Texas. Yeah. Well, over the weekend, this picture went viral. I don't know if we have it up here. See if this is a touchscreen. It's not.
We don't. It usually is.
It is. It usually is. But there's a picture of a Bucky's in the Middle East.
Yeah, in Amman. In Jordan.
Yeah, we were like, and the guy who snapped this picture he's a native Texas. He was overseas in the Middle East, saw this, said he had so many questions, people wondering if it was real. It actually is real, but it's not a real Bucky's. So
just
in the Middle East,
the beaver.
Yeah, and oftentimes in other countries, I've traveled a lot. You see kind of rip-off products, Nike spelled with the Q or something like that. But in this case, they just took the Bucky's logo, says Bucky's, but as far as we can tell, no affiliation with
the actual Bucky's.
Yeah, there's only one location outside of Texas. It's in Alabama, and it just opened.
I know, we recently talked about it. It's been open for a couple of months, so it's interesting that they would take that. But I've traveled as well, and I've been to the Middle East, and I've been to countries like Egypt and Dubai, and you do see in Turkey, you do see some rip-off items. Nike, like you mentioned, will have like the backwards check mark. It'll be on the other side.
Or it's not Chick-fil-A, it's Chick-fil-B, or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's interesting. They would take a Bucky's beaver and put it up there.
Hey, maybe someone had been to Texas and knows how popular it is, and they said,
they're dreaming of it.
Yeah, they're not going to find out. They're only in Texas. Let me just pop this sign up here. No one will ever know, but a native Texan found that out. So it's a real picture, not a real Bucky's.
Interesting, very interesting.
You brought this next topic up to me this morning.
Yeah.
What is this, Coke and coffee?
So we didn't have this on the show because we just had so much news going on, but we wanted to make sure that you guys heard of this. So it's actually Coca-Cola infused with coffee. Now, you're probably thinking, this is a thing. I've seen this before. It was. Back in 2006, it was released into store shelves. What ended up happening, by 2008, they pulled it because it was just not selling and not doing great. But now they're thinking 2019 might be the year that Coke infused with coffee is going to be a trend. I personally would like to try it, but someone on Twitter, actually, Jose, who follows me on Twitter, responded to me as a viewer here in Central Texas, responded and said it's not good.
It's not good? Well, I can't imagine that it is good, but it might, sometimes people will have a soda habit, right? I know people that have 8 or 9 Dr. Peppers a day. Try to get that caffeine kick going. Maybe it'll cut down on the amount of soda because you've got that caffeine fix. Maybe that's an upside for me. That doesn't sound good, and that amount of caffeine sounds treacherous.
Here's the thing. I am curious to see how many grams of caffeine there are in those drinks, because we talk so much about caffeine levels and how it could be dangerous. We've talked about energy drinks killing a teenager in a different state, and his family wanting to make it a law that kids can't have these drinks. So maybe looking into how much caffeine these drinks have before trying them. I definitely will try it to see what it tastes like, because the idea of it is kind of different, but I don't know if it'd become like my staple way to get caffeine.
Well, you like a lot of sweetener. I've seen you make your coffee here at the station in the morning. You like a lot of sweetener in there.
I love that French vanilla creamer.
A lot of that creamer. Yeah, Lisa expressing how I feel too. Coke coffee with his frowny face, and Thomas saying no way.
I don't know.
It's interesting. You know what? It's almost like the Dr. Pepper shake we saw at the
Whataburger.
Yeah, which was like one sip. It's okay.
There it is.
There it is. Coke coffee. 10 years later, still doesn't sound good, says Ronnie. Hey, I'm with you. If it didn't work before, why is it going to work now?
I don't know, guys. I'd give it a shot. I'd give it a chance. Here's one of the, I learned the hard way, I think, with the Dr. Pepper shake, among many other things, is maybe try it before you make a judgment on whether you like it or not. Holly's saying, like, I need more caffeine. My hands would be shaking real bad. That's coming from Ryan.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Ryan. Even if I have a little bit too much coffee in the morning, I get the shakes. You know what I mean?
And that's interesting that you bring that up, because I don't have, surprisingly, I know we wake up so early to do the show, but I don't have a cup of coffee every day. I have it once every couple of days, because so much caffeine gets me so hyper. And then next thing you know, everyone in this building's like, Heidi, what's going on? You need to tone it down.
Yeah.
I get crazy.
Yeah, you get a little wild. You get a little hype. You're running around, you're dancing, you're singing. But yeah, so I don't think you need the Coke and coffee.
No,
certainly.
I'll try it, but that's all.
Yeah, because you got the caffeine high, and then you got the sugar on top of that.
The sugar.
So
that'll get me.
Be moving and grooving.
Moving and grooving. Let's talk about moving and grooving. You know who was moving and grooving? Some fifth graders in Ohio.
Yeah, this clip going viral right now.
Take a look.
Now I want you to watch the video closely, Heidi, because you're going to see these. Look at these two. These two in the front are just like me. They have no idea what the words to this song are. They're not up on the trends. They're actually a little bit, it looks like, disappointed in what's going on. But then we're going to see this guy in the gray sweatsuit there. I mean, what do you think about this song? I think this song has been played so many times. A lot of people might be sick of it. What do you think about this song? You're moving and grooving to it.
Take my horse down the downtown road.
Well, maybe we'll leave it to Maybe we'll leave it to Lil Nas X to do it, because I don't know if I think you should say to anchoring, because singing is not your forte.
It's not.
Look at this guy.
What
this little guy is so confused. That's me when I hear this song.
That's you. I'm definitely the kid that was just breaking out all the dance moves. This song is so catchy. It's like #1 right now. Of course, it features Billy Ray Cyrus. This little Nas X is just blowing up. We talked about him yesterday, actually. He adopted 2 dogs and asked people on Twitter to help him pick which one. And it was so sweet because he got both. I mean, he seems to be a lovable guy. His
seems to be likable.
amazing.
I've never seen him without the cowboy hat. Johnny Massengill this morning. Love your newscast. You guys do great work. Hey, Johnny, thank you so much for that compliment on a Friday. We appreciate you guys watching, and each and every one of you watching. Yeah, Lil Nas X, he's growing on me. You know, I don't know about his music, but obviously the kids love it. Most of them, at least.
Most of them. Let's talk about this before we have to say goodbye. There's a new movie out that we are just anticipating. Rocketman officially out in theaters. Of course, it's that Elton John biopic. Director Sean Hobbs from the director's chair got to watch it, gave it a 3-star rating.
Yeah, and it's the same rating that he gave Bohemian Rhapsody, which I know is one of your favorites. It's more of, I think, a musical take to what's going on to try to spruce things up a little bit.
So what happened is the person who directed this movie actually was a producer on Bohemian Rhapsody and took over for Bohemian Rhapsody for the last couple of weeks of production due to some director issues. But the interesting part that I heard director Sean Hobbs talking about to me yesterday was that he said he didn't like Bohemian Rhapsody as much as he thought he would, because it was so by the book in terms of a biopic. Just really took that rock star lifestyle, moved it along as it would. This time around, it's like a musical-based film for Elton John's life, and I think that he's going to have some positive things to say about that. I haven't asked him for his full review. We like to really get in depth about this stuff, so we'll wait and see what he says, but I'm going to go see it for sure.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I know that our general manager came in and was asking Sean about where the best place to see it, where the best sound is in Central Texas. Of course, anytime you want to see a musical movie, you want that best sound experience. You want that updated, that surround sound. Almost feels like you're really there. Yeah,
and you're living like this rock star life with these artists. So Thomas saying, yep, Elton John is simply the best. So he loves Elton John. And Johnny says, thank you for pronouncing my last name correctly. Good job, Chris.
Oh, yeah, no problem, Johnny.
That's awesome.
Thanks for watching. And Ronnie says, go see Brightburn instead. Not sure what that is. Have to kind of
Brightburn.
brush up on that.
Have you seen that, director Sean Hobbs? 2.5 stars.
Oh, okay. So
Quick
2.5
review.
stars from Sean Hobbs. That's going to do it right here on Texas Today and for Still Up with 6 this week. But we're going to be back on Monday, guys. Don't worry.
I wish we could stay talking forever with you guys. It's always awesome when you guys join the conversation. We'll see you Monday morning, 4:30 to 7 a.m. and Still Up with 6 starting at 7:05.